What up, heroes? This is James. Look, I got a short video for you, but I want, and a short podcast, but I want you to listen to me. There is the war between two different patriarchies, if you will. There's the kingdom of God, which is truth, justice, the right way, and there's the kingdom of darkness, which is full of lies and deceit and wickedness. So I want you to watch and listen to this here video. This is an example of an evil or a brood of vipers or an agent of the evil patriarchy. This is Sneako takes on why men become unattractive in relationships. Let's listen to this.
Like revolve around just like having sex with women.
Can I explain it? How I think I've defined it. When a man retires or when a man gets married, he kind of loses a sense of his manhood. Everyone's like,
Wrong. When a man retires or when he gets married, he loses a sense of manhood. Wrong. When a man gets married, he does not lose a sense of manhood. If he retires and does nothing, I can see the truth in that. But when he gets married, which is what God calls us to do as men, not to run around with many women, to stick with one woman forever, and to develop a family and a household, wrong. You don't lose your sense of manhood. So let's squash that right now. Go ahead. Let's keep it going.
oh, we lost one.
It's the ego thing.
No, it's not an ego thing. It's what? No, hold up. Let me finish. When a man retires and when a man stops working and then then you notice him age like 30 years and 2 years. You ever see a guy retire and then he's like, you look back at him and he's sitting in the chair like, hey, I'm just watching the game. And he looks old. And when a guy gets married, he's talking about, well, I wish I could go out, but I got to see the wife. He's losing his balls. So when you stay open and you stay like that single guy that you were when you met your girl, when she really fell in love with you, and you keep that essence about you, that girl's going to stay with you forever. And not
agent of the evil patriarchy. Agent of the evil patriarchy. Do you see that? Do you see? So what he's saying is once you get married, or if you commit yourself and listen to the godly patriarchy, listen to what God says that men should do, father rule. If you commit yourself to a woman and stay with her for the rest of your life, she's gonna get bored with you. And she's not going to like you as much because you committed, you're going to work, you're committed to her, you're raising children with her, you are on a mission to make sure you're worshiping God and you have a goal for your life and your family and you have a vision for your family. Don't do that because your wife might leave you because she go get bored. She wants you to be a cheater. She wants you to be a cheater. Like, this is so silly, man. It's so silly. But this is what the young kids, this is what young men, this guy has millions and millions of followers on TikTok. This Sneako dude, I think what his name is, Sneako. Millions and millions of followers, but he's an agent of the evil patriarchy. What he's saying is the way God set up things, a husband and wife, having family, having a home, having children, and creating a nuclear family. That nuclear family, Satan don't want you to have that power. So he does everything subtly, really sneaky, to make you despise the nuclear family, make you despise the power that comes with being a godly man in a godly home, raising godly children for generations and generations. It's really subtle and really sneaky. Now let's flip the script right fast. Remember, it's a tale of two patriarchies. So I saw this video from let me just right fast. A video from Denzel Washington. And I want you to listen. Sorry about the confusion in the background. I want you to listen. I want you to listen to it. It's very, very good. Here we go.
Do you think we've made any headway in the
I think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago. and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head. You look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old. Do you blame the system? Where was his father? It starts in the house, it starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up, but where was his father?
Do you think we've
Where was his father? So Denzel Washington, I know I have my reservations about the guy too, but churches aren't saying this. So we have to say it. He has to say it, but I'm going to say it. He's saying, the guy was asking a question about, hey, you think racial, things have made headway? You're a black man. You think black man's well, he said, well, we need to make headway in our homes. Where are the fathers? Where are the fathers? Where are the dads? Where are the patriarchs? He's asking for a godly patriarchy. Where are the patriarchs? Where are the men that lead to defend, lead, protect, and provide for their families and be a priest of their home? Where are those men? Where are those men? And he described these guys. We just had another murder of a rapper, right? The drill music, all that stuff talking about killing. Where was their dad? Where is their fathers? And then where was their fathers? And then where was their fathers? So we have a tale of two different type of patriarchies. One womanizes, one sleeps around, one cheats, one sneaky and evil and wicked, love lasciviousness, but blames the way that God does things for their problems. So they're effeminate too. The other patriarchy, worship God, honors God, does what the way he wants it to do, way God wants him to do it, and he flourishes. God only promises to bless what is done in his name. Only what you do for Christ will last. So you have these men that are telling young men that the best way to be a man, is to sleep around. The best way to be a man is to have a girl that's committed to you, but don't commit to her. Why? Because we have wicked patriarchy. We have the wicked patriarchy convincing women 70% or 75% of all divorces is women led. Women want to leave their husbands, and sometimes it's not because the husband is whack or not attentive or whatever. It's because they just simply heard the lies of Satan, heard the whispers of the serpent that say, you better off without him. And then we have a system that rewards that type of behavior. So men react to that and run away and go their own way. You heard that before, right? But that's all symptoms. That all comes from them worshiping and not giving their heart over to the true and living God. Not submitting to the true and living God. Not submitting to the godly patriarchy. Not submitting to the Father who created everything with his breath, with his voice. You're not submitting to him. You're submitting to the serpent, a created thing. You're worshiping the creature rather than the creator. This is the tale of two patriarchies. Which one are you serving? Because it's only two. Men, which one are you a part of? Are you a part of the patriarchy, the evil patriarchy that promotes lasciviousness, unfaithfulness, not really being a man, machismo, which is a Spanish word for macho, or you're not really a man, but you have the look of a man. You go to the gym, you're kind of a butthole, for real. You're kind of douchey. You're kind of a tool. But that's praise because that shows strength. Like, are you the part of that evil patriarchy? Or are you part of the patriarchy that leads, protects, provides, and shows biblical strength, that serves, that leads? Their leadership is their service. That's how they serve. They're not servant leaders. They're servant lords. They lead through their service. You leading your wife is how you're going to serve your wife. You having a vision for your family is how you're going to serve your family. You disciplining and you creating a space for laughter is how you lead your family. That's how the godly patriarch does it. Through having dominion, through rough hands and beat up knuckles, through all those things, we as godly men have a godly patriarch. We are submitted to God, which gives us the power to then have dominion over the earth and create things for our family. But what the major problem is, why the evil patriarchy, I think, is taking a toll and it seems like they're taking ground, is because we have created a culture where men have to leave their testosterone and their cojones at the door of every church. So you can't be real masculine at the church because that might offend the pastor's wife or some ladies in the front or some soccer mom somewhere, or somebody. So you really can't call out things like, hey, girls, I know, I get it that you whatever, but you really shouldn't be wearing short stuff like that. At church, we got young men. We got young boys in here. Don't need to see your cleavage or your thigh, the top of your thigh to your underwear pattern. We don't need to see that. You can't call that out, but you could call out. We created this effeminate culture where we call out men for everything they do. Everything. Man, you need to be strong. You need to be duh. You need to do. But we barely, if ever, say anything about women's sin. We do things like, when the Bible clearly says men, we have to say man and woman. And God created, let us make man and woman in the image of God. Let us make man and woman. You don't want the woman to be left out. We don't want the woman to be left out. So, and woman, even though for generations and generations of the Bible, of the Torah being written, right, and the Bible being written, we never had to have that extra sprinkle on top and make sure the women don't feel and brothers. Was it? What is the scripture? I beseech you, therefore, brethren, and sisterin. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, and sisters, by the mercy of God. Like, why do you have to do that? But it's because that we the spirit of the age. I heard this from the Bible Bash guys. If you ever watched it, go check out their stuff. It's very, very good. Bible Bash. But they said the spirit of the age is what is causing what's infiltrating the church. The spirit of the age. Matter of fact, hold up. So there's a spot in this book, It's Good to Be a Man, by I'm going through this with a couple of friends, so it's stuck in my head, and this is the chapter we're on, but it stuck out to me. Here it says, but the serpent has daughters too. Toxic sexuality exists in both sexes. In both cases, it takes the form of spiritual subversion of God's design. Patriarchy is God's design. Let me keep on reading. So just as there really is a toxic masculinity, which is wicked patriarchy, so all these women screaming about toxic masculinity fall for those dudes like Sneako, and they're only looking at people like Sneako and Andrew Tate and all these other guys, and they're thinking that's all masculine. No, that is actually the evil patriarchy. That's actually the wicked patriarchy. There's also toxic femininity. The creation mandate for both sexes, thus as it was for both sexes, thus as it is subverted by men in the fall, so is it subverted by women. In both cases, subversion is along sexual lines. There are sins common to men and there are sins common to women. Talking about toxic femininity is verboten in evangelicalism. It is no feat. And I was talking about the two different patriarchies. One patriarchy wants to twist the fabric of the house order or the family order or creation order. So Satan went towards Eve. Now, some people might think that wasn't a strategic thing, but it was. Satan flipped the order. He flipped the order to woman listening to creature, then man listening to woman, and then trying to get the man and the God to listen to the man. No, it goes God, man, woman, children. Or God, man, woman, children, humans, and creatures. But what happened was Satan flipped it, and now the woman was listening to the serpent, which was a creature, which he went to the weaker vessel and flipped the script on it. So now everything was upside down. All he's doing is continuing in that process. So as we make church more effeminate, make church more palatable for and I'm not talking about being rude and crude. I'm talking about making church less palatable for real men to be there and be strong. Once we stop encouraging men to be men, what's going to happen is what's already happening. What's already happening for the past, I'm going to say 50 or so years in the evangelicalism, where men are walking away from the church. But we know, and Satan knows, the power that happens when a man stays at the church. When a man leads his family, there's 90% or 80, a high 80% chance that everybody in the household will worship the Lord and submit. But when it's just the woman, it goes down to 15. When it's just a child, it goes down to 9. Satan knows this power. Satan knows the power. You can see the statistics in the world. Satan knows the power of the godly patriarchy. That's why he's trying to pull man out and make it uncool to be a dad. Make it uncool. But knowing that every last one of those men that's talking about how is whack for men to be married had a dad that wasn't there. Had a dad that walked out on them. Their father hurt. So they're going on a rampage. They've been hurt by the evil patriarchy. So they're going on a rampage and joining the evil patriarchy instead of linking up with the one true God who can forgive and heal all. This is the tale of two patriarchies. Men, we are in a war. Are you going to be strong and courageous? Are you going to be backbone? Your backbones of steel and heart of flesh to submit to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to submit to the dragon and fall into the evil, lascivious, mealy mouth, soft, these things? Atheism. Buddhism. There is a war between the patriarchies. What side are you going to be on, heroes? I hope you're on my side. I hope you're on God's side. And that's all I got to say about the heroes. Until next time, be watchful, stand firm in the faith. My volume is too high. Act like a man and be strong out there. We are out.